Okay, so I guess we'll kind of just, these first items here, nothing really new here to report. The MS4 program, one thing kind of just to note we discussed earlier today, was we're probably, over the course of the next couple months, we'll probably be looking at needing to see what we're going to need to do for the next phase of that, since the current one expires in March next year. So we'll probably, the next couple months, probably need to start.
What's that to do with Sue?
It's stormwater. So, several years back, the state implemented all the new stormwater guidelines and all the testing requirements you have to meet on your outfalls. You guys did a waiver for the first cycle. That waiver comes up to expire in March of 2023. So we're just gonna start spending a little bit of time looking into what we really need to do. If there's any possibility we can renew that waiver, or, what the requirements are gonna be moving forward for that. They're permanent cycles that do come to expiration periodically. Something just to keep your eye on.
We really want to keep your fingers crossed for that waiver.
Right, absolutely. No, the waiver, I mean, it saves a colossal amount of time.
Okay. Jumping down to item number 5 here, 2021 road program. PennDOT did process all those documents, so the project is officially closed out in PennDOT's eyes. So road program, all the liquid fuel stuff has been accepted by them and is closed out. PennDOT bridge relocation. We're just going to continue to follow up with PennDOT to keep checking the status of the utility drawings for that when they have that ready. I know at the last meeting, Terry brought this up as well, where they had some changeover in management. So that's pretty much what we're kind of stepping back a little bit in terms of getting that utility coordination up and running. So sewage treatment plant aeration system, item number 7 there. LSA has advised tentative schedule for fall. Nothing new there has changed.
So one thing just to add to that, Mr. Verdes, you brought it up before the meeting. So LSA is looking to award this grant money in the fall. Talking with Mark down at the plant, some of those talks, he's really on his last leg in terms of replacements for the aeration system. So we told Mr. Verdes that we'd see if there's anything that can be done ahead of any grant award schedule that won't put losing any of that money in jeopardy. But if there were maybe a few replacement socks that could be ordered, or if we can look at maybe getting, the material ordered depending what the lead time is, just to try to cut down on some of that lag time. But we'll need to work within the confines of the grant requirements should that money be awarded.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, we'll take a look at that.
Thank you.
Okay, item number 8, the FEMA grants, nothing new there. FEMA did advise that they're expected to issue an update next month. I would imagine that if they do actually stick to that schedule, that'd probably be something I guess would be later in the month. So hopefully, probably a little bit wishful thinking. Maybe the July meeting will have an update, but more likely by August maybe we'll have an update on the grant process for that. So keep you guys advised as we hear new information from them. The Main Street sewer. So right now, kind of jump down to the bottom of that, right above item number 10. So pretty much in further coordination with the railroad, I know I've talked to Brenda a little bit about this, keeping her and Lou in the loop. So because of the fact that the manholes for this project are actually in the crossing guard area, they're explicitly requiring tier 1 flaggers. And basically what this means is that for the duration of the time the contractor's in there working, any train that's going to be coming into West Newton is going to have to stop a mile out and basically radio the flagger. The flagger's going to have to clear everyone and all the equipment out of that right of way before basically radioing the train. And because of that level of flagger that's required, that's been a holdup in the scheduling. Railroad does not have very many of these flaggers, so it's pretty much when we can grab one available.
I think the upshot is, we're at their mercy, but after this ridiculous process, I mean, fingers crossed any day. As soon as they call, we've coordinated with the contractor. As soon as they call and say they're gonna I know it's been a process, but I mean, we're this close.
Well, she said.
The railroad is just, they're just not easy.
I know, I feel bad, but I'm not. We wanna get this, done.
Yeah.
I'm gonna clear our books of this.
And I've been, as I've been hearing any information, the contractor, Lou, have all been, in the loop on this, so as soon as we get a schedule, as soon as they get a date to us, Lou and the contractor will both be made aware, and
Right.
that work will be,
Okay.
everybody's ready, it's just as soon as, you just
Right.
need the flagger, is what we'll.
That's just for the day, you think?
Best case scenario, yeah, a day or maybe two at the most. If you go in there, if they get in there and get that cleared out and get a good shot of it and say the top of the pipe has fallen in, if the contractor can CIPP line it, which is trenchless, that would probably stretch into another day. But in best case scenario, if it's just a buildup of material that's clear and everything starts flowing, then it would be a single flow.
Yeah.
Is there any way we could get, I'm just looking out for emergency response, so just let us know when it happens, so I can get something set up for the center. And let the fire chief and everybody know, hey, there might be a delay in response that day. If they're walking trains through town, you know, that might delay them. I just want them to know that and be prepared.
I
It's
do-
not gonna mess up your project, but we gotta let them know.
So I guess maybe the best thing to do would be, is once we get a date, Lou and Ashley will make you guys aware and you wouldn't mind just.
Oh, please do.
Yeah, keep following the loop, so.
Yeah, if you could, just let me know, and that way I can let everybody know.
Yeah.
I mean,
I have
nothing
your-
may happen, but just, I'd rather them know, hey, this could delay you if something happens.
I have your direct contact information.
Yeah,
so
just
I
send me
can-
an email or call me or whatever.
Yep. Right now, we did, when we put in the application for the work, we did get 2 days, basically, if worst case scenario, 2 days. So hopefully we only need one, but we did provision in there for 2 with them, so.
Thank you very
sure
much.
that as well, so. Okay. So that's the status of the railroad Main Street. Columbia Gas, no real change there. I know that Columbia Gas did come back to Ashley a few weeks ago. That permit was issued, I think we're closing in on, I think we're at 2 months now since we issued that permit, and they were, as far as I know, they hadn't broken ground yet. So they were checking about the status, like the status of renewing the permit. We reiterated to them that they would need to reapply every 90 days to get that permit extended, so, not sure if there's any schedule with them to actually break ground yet on that project, but, probably would expect by next meeting time that a permit renewal from them will probably be granted, so, just more of a notification there than anything. They were kinda keeping an eye on that, Ashley and I are coordinating on that. LSA grants, no change there, pretty much just waiting for word there. 105 Main Street, pretty much, I think that's in the solicitor's hands now, so, I think we're covered there. Chapter 94 materials, we did, speak to, Mark, and we discussed some of the CSO reporting forms, that we were gonna discuss. I think everybody's kind of on the same page there, so it looks like we're,
Yeah, I think Mark reported to us that he had got with Dale and they kind of straightened out some of what the missing forms that needed to be done, and he's gonna be working with moving forward, so I think that's what.
220 North 4th Street, I guess with, some of the comments there from the beginning, we'll be on standby and I'll call if we, what needs to be done there to get that problem fixed since it's rearing its head again. Ball field, vault, we did get, after I talked to Sam following our last meeting, did kind of just get a little bit of language updated in our letter, and, Sam thought it looked good. So Ashley did transmit that letter to MAWC. It's, requiring them to install a dechlorination system for any water that would come out of there, and to put them on notice that the problem seems to have resolved itself with the amount of water coming out of that vault for now. But if it does rear its head again, the borough probably will, be reaching back out to them. So they're on notice for that, any additional flow coming out of that vault. So they will probably just need to track and follow up to make sure that they do.
I haven't seen any. it's been a while.
My spidey sense tells me that that's a pressure reducing valve with a surge relief, that the surge relief is designed to just blow water out if you get spikes in pressure, and sometimes those take a little bit of time to get dialed in.
I mean, I don't have a problem if they're doing it once in a while.
Exactly.
Like I said, if it's once in a while, hey, let them, it's not hurting anything, but the way it was coming out of there, it was making the whole field, I mean, it was making everything down there wet.
My
Now they get that corrected, I don't wanna make them do the, whatever you just said.
That's why.
Filtration,
we wrote the
you know what I
letter
mean?
that- Well, they have to do the filtration because it's not.
And
potable.
that could be simple, that's as simple as they make metal baskets that you put dechlorination tablets in it. It just
Oh,
sits
okay.
in the drain. It's not a complex problem.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but like I said, my suspicion is that they got their valve settings dialed in, and that.
I haven't seen any water down there for a
Probably
while.
only go off if there's a abnormality.
Tony, when did that happen?
Right when they put it in.
Yeah.
That was back in, I think, beginning of March-ish.
I sent that
Right.
picture, yeah, oh yeah, it was February, March, yeah. It was coming out, well, it wasn't like it was floating out there, but I mean, it was coming out.
I thought
I
maybe it
sent
had
Brian
to do
and
with what they did
Dalton
down
pic-
here on this.
I'm
end.
sorry?
I thought maybe it had to do with what they did down here with the reversal of the flow to push all the crap out.
Oh, I don't know that.
We had a big ordeal down here where we got the state rep involved. All
Okay.
my water was, it was piss yellow.
Oh, really?
Oh, it was bad.
What did they do down there? Put new lines in or what?
They figured out that this is deadheaded down here now, there's no continuous flow.
Okay. Oh,
So every
Right.
90 days, they're gonna come reverse the flow
right,
and push all of it back out of the line.
correct, I did hear that,
I mean, it's bad.
right.
My tub, everything is just brown. I
Yeah.
can't get it clean.
Right.
Nothing cleans it, so I have to replace.
They already did it, yeah.
Yeah, they did it
Did it
once,
help?
they're gonna do it again.
Yeah.
They're gonna put an automatic flusher.
You did that?
Yeah.
Did it help?
I did hear that.
That was good.
No, this is put some kind of pressure relief valve,
Okay.
but
I didn't-
I guess it wasn't set accordingly, so the water was just dishing out onto the ball, not onto the ball field, but onto the sidewalk and onto the field, and I went down there one day to do the field with it. So I called Dalton and said, send me pictures, so I sent him pictures. But like I said, it's been dry since I contacted you guys, basically.
We'll take credit for it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, since I contacted you guys, it's been pretty good.
I
Thank
guess
you
I-
for that.
I guess it can be pretty scary on the phone. Okay, so last couple items here, the bridge flood gauge, haven't really seen any opportunity for any sort of grant funding potentially for that come up, so that's no change there yet. The insect lock consolidation plan, I believe we brought this up at the last meeting, that consolidation plan had been submitted to Ashley. LCC did their review and sent that back to Ashley on May 23rd, so that's pretty much back in the borough's hands to basically just approve or make any recommendations the borough has, but LCC provided their response to their consolidation plan. And then 103 Home Street, which we had discussed earlier, and Sam has posted the information for that.
I have one question for you, Dalton. We had the issue down at Filburn Manor where they wanted that parking lot paved. And Ryan, you're probably more familiar with this. I'm not sure, Dalton, if you were here. And we cannot pave it without spending a small fortune to having to all the drainage and such.
Yeah, so the issue at the time, I think they had approached council interested in paving this lot. The issue goes back to your stormwater ordinance, and you're creating an area that although it is gravel is still considered pervious, meaning the water will infiltrate down in the ground. If you come and pave it, you're creating an impervious area, which means you need to install stormwater management facilities to attenuate runoffs. At the time, we went and took a look at it and determined that, yes, you can pave it, but you need to take the
Catch
measures to
basins,
comply with
sewer
the
lines,
ordinance.
all nine yards.
And it, you know, I
Probably
think-
means boring underneath the track.
I think that was, a little bit over what everybody had thought in terms of budget dollars, so.
So, I mean, it really is bad down there. Is it possible that we could just redo that with gravel rather than paving it? Excuse me, and that would bring it back to where it was originally, because originally that lot was all gravel, am I correct?
Yeah, the
Yeah, if it's an existing gravel lot and you're going to essentially re-stone it and you're just adding more gravel at that point to fill in potholes or level it out, then I don't see an issue with that.
At that time, they had, what, $40,000 or something they wanted
Yeah.
to,
Yes.
towards that project. That would buy enough gravel.
I would think so, yeah.
I had a question. When you pave something and you change the drainage, like the water gardens that some places put in where it can perk, would that be feasible?
Sure,
That would be less
absolutely.
expensive. And you already have a swamp area behind Giant Eagle that would be perfect for the water garden type situation. That would
Yeah,
work.
yeah, those rain gardens, yeah, they do, and they're acceptable and they work. It's not as simple as digging a hole and planting some shrubs. So
Right.
you have to get
Specific things, right?
plants,
They
specific
have to have a
soils.
Greensburg around that
Yeah.
culvert there.
And they can still be costly, but, you know, I'm not sure what direction council was going on that. I know it's the people who run the apartment building there that were interested in undertaking.
Well, let
the
me
project.
ask you, if they paid for the paving, is there a grant or anything that the borough could do to comply with the drainage by putting in a water garden system?
I'm not sure if there's any, like, green
I'm
infrastructure.
not
grants out there.
paying them to look into that. I'm sorry. I mean, just to look into it's gonna cost how much money?
I mean, I would suggest that if you wanna go out and take a look, I like key terms, look for really green infrastructure or, I don't know if that would fall under flood
I've
mitigation
seen
or not.
riparian, I mean, I've seen some of those with conservation.
Right, and a lot of times.
Because it promotes the wildlife and the natural habitat and all that.
Yeah,
It's
I think it would
beautified.
certainly be something to look into.
Yep, Paul.
Why don't you reach out to Westmoreland County Conservation? I think that's free, you could just call them, probably get some guidance or, that way you wouldn't have
Yeah,
to,
maybe they
wouldn't
would.
have to spend money to
at least-
research it.
Yeah, I mean, I can look at that for free.
Yeah, they might be able to make it a
I mean, I
project.
just thought that might be a different way to go.
Tap your state rep on that, too. They usually have good information on what kind of grants are out there.
And we also kind of just full pump for this as well, is we do have our LSC funding committee where we do keep an eye on all these different grant opportunities. And a lot of this isn't like a lot of our, whenever we see some of these grant opportunities come up, a lot of it's not directly charged to clients. It's more internal. This grant opportunity popped up, somebody takes a look at it and everything, and kind of then we have a list come out probably like every month, every couple months where a series of grants come up, and we can bring those up to our clients, so.
Yeah, if it's in that regard, if you see anything that might be applicable.
Especially if the grant covers your
So
fee.
can I ask, who's paying for the pavement originally?
They are.
So who's gonna pay for the stone?
Well, they had $40,000 they wanted.
I'm asking, who's gonna pay for the stone?
We didn't ask.
Well, we would have to find it, and we'd have to ask them.
Yeah.
I
I'm
know
just,
what
I mean, if they've been down
No,
through
no,
there.
that's not my point.
Yeah,
My
no.
point is, do they want us to pay to stone it, or are they gonna
They
pay?
They
for it?
haven't even asked.
Okay.
Yeah, they didn't ask us.
We're asked.
Oh, we're
I,
asked.
yes, I
Yeah.
just was asked.
Oh, I thought they came to you,
No,
I'm sorry.
no, no, I was just
Oh, I'm sorry,
asking.
I thought they came to you.
That's okay.
You're just trying to find an option to make it real safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought they
For
came to you,
the
man.
residents.
Yeah, no, that was all me.
I'll definitely check, thanks, Paul.
Okay,
So if you
anything
see
else,
anything,
Joe?
let me know.
Anything else, Joe?
I think I also bring that up, I might actually look real quick whenever we move on to the supervisor's report here, but I think just a month or two ago on our funding committee stuff, there actually had been some type of green infrastructure grants that had been available.
Hey, I'm all for free.
Yeah,
Yeah, if we see anything that jumps off the table for it.
okay, great.
Thank you.
Okay. Can I have a motion to accept the engineer's report? Moved by, motion by Dan, second. Second by Terry, all those in favor? Opposed? Motion passed. Supervisor's report.
North Fourth Street, well, I should say Fourth Street, we had an issue with the sewer line there. If you recall last meeting, we talked about how we had Adam Cameron and it was jetted and we created a worse situation by jetting it than if we would just left it alone, but we had to do something. So I was asked to get bids for the repair, 7 feet deep. Contacted 5 people, asked for a bid. I only got 2. One from Affordable and one from Dale Kimberly. I don't know, Tone, here they are. These are my own copies if you want to take a look at them.
Okay.
So that's something that's gonna need addressed. Alright.
Where are we talking on Fourth Street?
Right at 4th and Vine,
Okay,
right by, is that Christ Lutheran Church?
Yes.
George Molovich,
Nutrition.
yes,
Needs fixed, right?
yeah, needs fixed, needs fixed.
You want that motion tonight?
Yes, if at all possible, I'd like to
Yeah.
get that done.
Yeah. I mean, you put 5 people out, I mean, it's because you didn't, right, Sam? Because they only received 2 out of 5.
And this is an emergency fix that needs done now, not something
Yes.
we can put out in bid, and yeah, you did.
Well, we already put it up.
Yeah, I tried to get 5 of them.
When I say put it out to bid, I mean formal bidding and advertising if it's that kind of a project, not just going out and getting quotes, there's a big difference there. What
Well, I
numbers
thought
are
for
we-
under 20,000, we can.
Well, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah,
What
it's
kind
like
of-
10-9, yeah.
Yes, you got.
No, we're.
That's what I was, I didn't
No,
know
no,
what type
I
of
know,
project it
I
was.
saw you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew what you were saying.
Got it. Now we're good.
So,
Okay.
do you need copies of those bids or can I have?
They're-
Well, they're passing them.
Oh, okay, they're
On the streets. No, they're passing, everybody's.
No good, Lieutenant.
we got 2 road repairs in 6th and Penn, Water and Poplar. We're gonna be working on Collinsburg Road and 6th Street between the Forest and Randy's. We're gonna install a new catch basin in there and get that paved.
What we doing on Collinsburg,
Repairing.
Repair roads,
potholes.
holes.
Yeah, they've already saw cut it. I got a couple complaints about it, and I talked to Lou, and they haven't saw cut it, they're just gonna patch it. We're supposed to get rain by Thursday, huh?
Well, I'm hoping to get it,
You need to talk about maybe Thursday.
You might have
yes.
to pick-
Yeah, tonight we're supposed
I
to
don't
get
know.
messages.
Yeah.
We'll see.
you might see
That's the
something
plan.
like-
Well, I don't think you're gonna pay tonight.
No, I'm saying, I don't know if you can pay it tomorrow.
Not really, but-
Well, no, at least we can get it dug up and do the catch basins. I'm hoping we'll have time to do that after the rain stops. Got the street sweeper back on 311. I called those people, I would ask them to ask the technician to come out. It's better, but it's not as advertised. Ask him to take a look
We
at
paid a bill yet?
it. No, we have not.
Then don't pay.
Uh,
Does everybody have a chance to look at this?
Thank you. So we're gonna go with the cheapest, I shouldn't say the least expensive one, correct?
They
Yes.
don't go cheap.
Like the least expensive one.
That's definitely makes.
All right,
yeah.
But be reasonable.
Excuse me, Lou, can I have a motion?
Well, Danny's gonna need that for the price, so he can make the motion.
oh, sure,
Just give,
there we go.
when you, I don't know if your department or if you wanna do it now.
Well, yeah, I'll make a motion, we award, this bid to Kimberly Contracting for $10,925.
Second?
I'll second.
Second by Gary, all those in favor? Opposed? Passes. Go ahead.
Okay, dude, thank you.
Thank you. Sam, ordinance number 1999-2 deals with sidewalks and the repair of them. And a lot of these have been repaired for about a year. I'd say almost all of them. Water Street, Vine Street, 3rd Street, there's a bunch of them.
Are they all gravel still?
They're all stone. So who would notify these homeowners, and I have a list of them here, who would notify these homeowners that the borough requires them to get them fixed within 30 days according to this, if this is the most recent one, not, this is the only one I found so far, within 30 days?
Depends on how council wants to
Well,
handle it.
can I ask another question?
Sure.
I highly doubt the homeowner dug the thing up.
Yeah.
That we need to find out who dug it
Well,
up, that's who'd be
I,
responsible.
gas company, water company, yes,
Yeah.
yes, I have Comcast,
Yep.
yes, gas yes,
Correct.
yes.
Definitely a difference there. If it's one of the companies that we know for sure dug it up, they should have been responsible back. Now,
Correct.
if they wanna fight and say, okay, the homeowner's responsible, that's fine, the fight's between them, because it's not us that are responsible for it. But I would go after the company first, and then if it's a homeowner
The
that did
utility
something.
company
Yes, that's
first,
what I
yes,
meant.
yes.
Correct. And
Shouldn't
then,
they be responsible, I mean, they shouldn't
they
fall
should
on
be,
the
but
homeowner.
it depends. If, I don't know what kind of actions there, if they did something, there might be something where the homeowner's required, because they did something to the line, the water company had to come out and fix it. Any number of scenarios can come up, but generally, yes, it's gonna be the utility company, especially because they should have gotten a street and sidewalk opening permit to even make those cuts to get down in there too. So yes, it would likely go to them first, but it, depending on the situation, it could be the homeowner. The letter, if we're going to the utility companies, I would say let it come from my office. If we're going to just homeowners, we can do it from the code enforcement office, because that's where we would file a citation for
Sure.
anyways. So I can get with you if you give me the addresses of the ones for the utility companies. And
I
say, hey, this
will-
needs to be fixed.
Nicole has all that information too.
She probably does.
Yes. When she comes, was she gonna be in on Friday?
Yeah, she'll be here Friday.
I'll ask her to email Sam the information. Excellent.
Who's the company that was up on, Howard and down on Vine and down,
That was,
they looked like they were putting, data lines in or something? Hill Street and Howard.
The orange roll of pipe,
I
that
think
was
that's-
gas company, that was a gas company, yes. Because if you look at Howard,
That's still in, what do you call that, what's that pavement?
oh,
Cold
yeah,
patch.
yes, and that's a gas company, and I've relayed that information to Cole, that I've
Okay, just
listed.
some,
No, Cole is.
I didn't know that, I thought it was you, I thought it was a data company, I didn't know it was a gas.
That was a gas company.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Cause they ripped up a sidewalk right down there by that church.
Yes, sir,
Okay.
yes, sir.
That's why I'm saying they should be responsible. Okay.
Yeah, that's where I'm
We're on the
getting.
same page, okay, thank you.
Lastly, I hate to mention it, but I've got to. Salt for roads. Under our current CoStar's contract, we need to order 105.71 tons of salt to complete the contract for 2022. We have to do that by 7/31, which I will make happen, and then we'll get a new contract and take it from there.
And we do have room for that, so
We do have room.
we have to buy that.
Oh, so you're looking at me like I know if you ever. I got no idea.
No, I'm just saying, we have to, I mean, I'll put in a motion that we go ahead and do that.
Yeah, I mean, if you're
We're
gonna
under
have,
contract to,
yeah, we don't wanna break that contract.
No.
so I'll put that in form of motion that we purchase, the balance of the contract with CoStar, is that what it is? CoStar.
Yeah.
Motion made.
My quoted price that I just did vote, $67.27 a ton.
No, is that the state price that we get?
Yeah, it's a contract.
Good deal for us.
That's not bad. No.
And I'd like to say that Austin,
I have a motion on the floor.
well, I'm sorry, Bob, I'm sorry.
Okay,
Can I get a second?
second please.
Second.
Second by Tony. All those in favor?
All right,
All
go
those
ahead.
I'm sorry.
Motion carries.
Mr. Austin Baca, excellent employee.
Yeah.
Good.
He's
That's
doing
all I
very
have.
well. That's our press card.
Lou, can you hang a banner for the pool across Main Street?
Says closed.
No.
Across Main Street.
Yeah, it's the Coca-Cola gave one that will fit across Main,
That's up
I
to
or,
don't
her.
know. Yeah, I don't know that we
You
can
can't
do
do
that.
that.
Vines,
across
or
Main.
no, Main Street, yeah.
You cannot do that.
Can't put it across Main
No.
And
here.
across. We
It's
put
not
it
our
across.
road.
That's
It
why,
belongs to the state, huh?
that's why they put those wires on the side.
You could do it by the moose or, you
No,
know,
it's-
you can't cross the road.
But the trouble with the one up there now in the corner is that it's, that
Right, Sam?
veteran flag,
Yeah,
you know, is there and.
We ain't even gonna ask
everything
them.
is there.
We'd have to get permission, but they're gonna tell us
No,
no.
we're not even gonna ask.
Okay,
That's all I have.
I tried before, Gary, just let me know.
Well, yeah, I just
Oh.
was asking.
Maybe on the
If it was
bridge.
like temporary, they've done, I've seen other state roads, if there's like a festival or something in town and it happens to be
Well, could we ask them?
for something short term, but I'm
Well,
talking
it's
like
only for the
weekends.
Yeah, it's only for.
Yeah.
For their
oh, for
50th
summer.
Summer they may, for the whole summer they may, I'm
Okay,
saying
I
for
mean,
like
I guess it wouldn't hurt to
weekend.
ask.
We can get an email, I mean, actually, I can get back to the contact information, she can even do that, so I
I can do
Where
that.
the truck comes down.
Yeah, why not?
the road.
Yeah.
For- Yeah, it's for
I didn't
their
think they'd
summer,
even let you for.
for their 50th anniversary.
Can't hurt to ask.
Yep. I didn't think you would.
So are we gonna have another tornado down at the ball?
Don't know that.
Don't know. I'm gonna ask that we get 2 dumpsters.
Oh, yeah, I did, that's 100% my fault.
No.
I did not know that.
We're on the same page, that's
I
all
told
that needs to
Danny
be said,
that.
that's all that needs to be said,
I
thank
had-
you.
I had no clue.
Thank God.
I took 100% responsibility for that.
You got it, buddy, that's all, that's it.
okay, have a motion to accept supervisors.
I will make
I just
sure
wanted
that.
to add something under.
That's
under his
100%
report.
guaranteed,
Uh,
buddy. I took the brunt.
Yes.
I wanted to thank the street department and the police. We did bring those heavy trucks in for Verizon without a glitch, and it worked out very well.
Very well.
Great,
Thank
great
you.
job, Lou.
5G now.
Thanks, business, for your business. Appreciate that.
It's good. They did it fantastic.
Good.
We'll have 5G.
Okay,
Celebrating, I think we'll be on
I'm
there.
telling you, we're good
Yes.
down here.
Oh, big time, big time.
It all happens.
I was gonna say, you never
So,
know.
people live where it's, you got the thing.
Figuring something out going on here.
okay, motion to accept supervisors report.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Gary, second,
I'll second
second by Jason, all those in favor? All those opposed? Motion passed. Sam, you're up.
Got a couple of things that we touched on already, but I'm gonna start with the amusement tax ordinance you guys discussed last week. I understand you're looking to change it a little bit and possibly decrease, some of the fees. We can absolutely do that. Got a couple of different options for you. You can do it now as part of an ordinance. You guys would just motion to authorize, actually to advertise any changes you make. And what I would suggest doing, instead of listing the fees that are in the ordinance, have it set by resolution, so you guys can change it every so often as you need to. In these fees that you're charging, and I know we wanted to lower the $300 down one, there's also some distinctions within the different types of machine. With the fee, you wanna cover what your costs are to send somebody out there to actually inspect it, who's going to check those out, which I believe we have our police officers do, or who goes and checks those wages. You wanna make sure you're all covered by it. The idea is to not make you're not looking to make a profit on these things, it's to cover your expenses to keep the program legit. Your prices, even as they are now, or your fees, I should say, they're not even approaching it where somebody's going to question it. I've had municipalities, they charge $1,000 for those, and we do have people come back and say, you're not allowed to do that, and we most certainly would have lost, we've amended it. So by setting it by resolution, like I said, you can change it every year, every couple of years, instead of going through the advertising process to do all that again.
Yeah, I don't wanna pay to reduce somebody else's money. So if we do it the way we wanna do it, we don't have to advertise it?
No, if you wanna change this, you're gonna have to advertise it at some point. So the other option would be to hold on to this and wanna go through the codification process, because part of that codification process, but this is what I was telling you yesterday, or earlier today. They're gonna go through and look at all of your ordinances that have things, fines set by in the actual ordinance. They're gonna take that, I'll give you the option to take that language out and replace it with set by resolution, any of the fees and such. We can do it all in one fell swoop as part of that codification, it would be in place, I'm assuming, for next year, which would be fine. And that way you don't have to advertise. Now, we're gonna have to advertise all of that anyways when it comes time to it. So we've gotta advertise, the one that we publish, and then there's another advertisement after we accept it and adopt it, so there's a whole bunch of stuff there. So that's the options for that. Whatever you guys wanna do, we can go ahead and do. They're relatively easy to change, it's just the advertising right now would be what you're,
So we're looking at $500 to advertise.
probably, I don't even know.
Right, think that would cost anything?
Yeah, it's pretty expensive.
Pretty short. Well, bringing that to you guys' attention, I didn't know that was in process.
Now, the other
To
thing that
lower
we
it that
can
much,
do,
you know what I mean, to lower it to $100?
if
We
you'd
lower
like
it to
to,
maybe 150, that would cover the cost of the advertising. right?
And the other option would be if you don't wanna do any kind of advertising, you can wholesale across the board institute a discount this year. You can give
So it'd be
everybody-
just for this year.
Because of COVID, you could say.
For whatever reason, I mean, we've had places for the 2 years, they didn't collect any taxes because nobody was open, but I don't know if you could say that the same here, it seems like we've been in place, been kind of open for stuff for a while now. But yeah, you could do that if you want. If whoever paid, you would have to give a refund, whoever
Correct.
hasn't paid, reach back out
Correct.
to them and say, this is all we're charging, we're gonna give you a discount for this year. That's fine, you wouldn't need to advertise or anything like that.
I like that idea.
If you guys wanna do, then you could
Just do it for this year,
Yeah.
and then next year we'll have to revisit it.
What I would suggest, don't make that motion tonight, make it in July, let Ashley and Nicole get all the information together, so you at least have the financials in front of you when you're making that decision.
Okay.
Because I don't know how big or, there wasn't many, was there? So it might not be huge, but you guys obviously wanna make your decision with information in front of you, not just,
So what do we do with the people that wanna pay their thing, just tell them to hold on to it?
if you want to, if you're not gonna go after them for any late fees, that's fine too.
Oh, no, no, this is
Yeah.
our decision.
Yeah,
No, I
totally,
can't say
totally.
going after a late fee.
Right, I was gonna say, if we're letting them, that's fine, I wouldn't suggest anything, you can tell them to hang on, we're gonna.
Correct,
Look back this in
for
July.
July meeting, okay, I like that. I don't like the advertising part.
And that's why I suggested going through codification, because you're gonna be able to get a lot of updating done. Because what's gonna happen next, they've got all of our information on that, this is the next part of kind of the report. They're gonna send you guys all back essentially a big binder. They're gonna review every single one of your ordinances there, they're gonna tell you which ones are still valid, which ones are not, you know, 'cause I know we've had some times where things have been amended. There's a handful of ordinances that just say, we've amended this ordinance from like 1930 something. So you have to go back and pull the original one to add just this section in, it's very hard to piece together. Ashley knows, I ask her all the time, you gotta find me this one or that one back in minutes and stuff, so that's a really good thing, and I know I say that every month, but this codification is huge for you guys.
Okay,
So we're good there.
so we're not gonna make that motion. until
Not gonna
July.
make that motion until July, but you can let, if anybody has questions and when anybody calls you, you can see if it will off.
So no letter will have to be sent
No.
until July?
Correct.
Okay.
Brenda and Terry and I met with the Westmoreland County Land Bank last week on 123 Main Street, the GC Murphy building. They put us into a good position to kind of continue to take action on this one, and they're willing to step in and help once we get them to this point. So immediately after that meeting, we found out that, obviously it's still in bankruptcy, this property. I called the bankruptcy attorney, who couldn't have been happier that I called him. Apparently his client is not on the best of terms with his former attorney. What I found out is that building's actually now in the hands of the Chapter 7 trustee. He's already got three voicemails from me figuring out how we can get that out of the bankruptcy. A few of the other properties this gentleman has owned were sold from the bankruptcy. They were over in Scottsdale. Hopefully we can do the same thing. There are still 2 open mortgages on this property, but with the reports and everything that we have, we can show that to the bank and the trustee that there's nobody here who's going to buy this property. You're never going to collect on these things, and a lot of times the court could actually order that to be sold free and clear. And if we want it sold, it would go to the land bank so that they can do something with it, because our hands are a little bit tied and we don't wanna get in the business of owning property.
Correct.
You know, that's not something we'd like to get into, but they can certainly help. We did talk about some of the other properties around as well, and once we get them to a state that they can come in, they're happy to, they're looking for things to come in and do. They actually identified 2 different properties to us on Main Street coming into the town on the hillside that they're actively looking to get in and take down, or get to the neighbor of some sort who's willing to do something. So there's definitely some things moving. They were very happy to come in and help us. They were very happy to come back again if anybody else wants to talk to them too. They're gonna be with us through the long haul on some of these things, so we're gonna keep doing it. Another one is the 105 East Main Street. I don't know if we've issued citations yet to them, but that's where we should have been. I know we talked about that last month. Same thing. These properties they're very valuable because of the location, but the insides are very problematic. They're all gonna cost a ton of money to do it, and if we don't get rid of some of the back taxes and everything, nobody's gonna come and do that. So hopefully the county land bank can help us get rid of those kind of things. They do have developers and stuff that they work with, and they'll bring people in to take a look at these places for us too. Hopefully it works out for us.
Sam, did you look into if we leave the foundation? we're
Haven't had a
grandfathered
chance to
in?
get into those details yet, but that's certainly on there to see what happens before we even get there. The first thing I wanted to see what the trustee needs from us to get the ball rolling through that. If we need to file some sort of petition with them, we'll action, we'll do that. I did talk with the attorney, he said he'd give me some guidance, he obviously can't do a whole lot because it's his client. If we need to, if I feel that we need to, I'll let you guys know that you need to bring a bankruptcy attorney on for this specific matter. You know, I'm not gonna step in something that's outside of my wheelhouse and push you guys in jeopardy. If anything, we wanna make sure we do this right.
Well, Terry and I had gone to the Westmoreland County Borough Association meeting last month, and we spoke with, Brian Lawrence. And we were discussing Beechwood and the G.C. Murphy building, and both of them, he said, don't even think about spending your money.
Right.
We have money, and they are all very willing to work with us. So, and the info that Sam got, and after that meeting, it's the most positive information that I can remember getting in quite some time that could set us on the right track. Finally getting those taken care of.
The other two minor things, Mr. Materio, the alley there, that shouldn't be a problem for us. I'm trying to just figure out how we actually need to do it, because I don't know if we should formally vacate it, because then we might have to do a deed from us, because we own the property next door to it, which is the library there. So we might need to do formal vacation, a deed, and then we would need an easement for Mr. Lettieri there, because there are sewage or water lines or something there, which would be fine. That wouldn't be much, should be relatively easy to figure out. The other one down here at the end of Water Street is a little bit more difficult, because there's some other entities involved that are not us, but it shouldn't be a problem in getting them to give a portion of their land over. It just depends on exactly where we're gonna draw the line.
That's the one at
That's
the
this
end.
one right down here, the guy wants to renovate that house, tucked away back there. And I'll just need a small, quick, very quick executive session for litigation. And we're good.
Sam, anything on the Collinsburg sign?
You guys were good to go just to talk with Mike Stack to get the permit for that. That's what we had let you go last
Really?
week. Yeah, I told you that last week.
Yeah,
Okay.
I thought you knew that, Paul.
I knew that part, but I didn't translate that into a green light, I guess.
Yeah, green light go.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
as long as you get everything through Mike, that's it. We're good to go.
Does he have the paperwork, or does Ashley do that?
I have,
Like the
Mike
blank
have it.
forms? Okay.
if
Fantastic.
I can get you a format, sir.
No hurry. Yeah, great, thank you.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
Okay, anything else, Sam? Okay, do I have a motion to accept the solicitor's report? Motion by Tony, second by Dan. All those in favor? All those opposed? Zoning, okay, motion carries, I'm sorry, Ashley. Do we have a zoning report?
Nothing.
Nothing, okay. Mayor's report.
Okay, this is the May 2002 Mayor's Report, received from Chief Indoff, Magistrate Prisoner's Office, $224.03, Clerk of Courts, $517.62, 32 and meter tickets, and $30 for copies, a total of $803.65. Let's see, there was one felony arrest, one misdemeanor, 3 summary arrests for year to date. And there was a total of 48 calls. Okay, a couple other things. I was looking into police grants, because I did bring up to council about, it was passed in a motion, I believe, some time ago, maybe before this topic came on, about trying to buy some handguns for our 2 full-time officers, and it's kind of went stagnant. So I was looking all over the place to see if there was any police grants. There's no police grant specifically for buying the handguns. There's all kinds of other things, which I did make note of, but of course those grants are closed. Those are more for program type things involving police. So I don't know, after you, maybe you can look into the budget, when we would do the budget, to see if there might be, we can address that issue.
Mayor, can I interrupt just a second?
Yes,
Reach out to your district attorney too.
okay.
They usually have funds that they can spend on police departments. Sometimes it's for things like vests, but weapons might also fall into that
Okay.
category too.
Because last time the VA was very nice, and they bought the AR-13, and then I bought the night vision for it. But we haven't had any new weapons since that. The Narcan has been replaced, and now we have a nice backup supply, and I was able to go to the Drug and Alcohol Commission right there over Menneson, so that was really sweet. Don't have to go through the sheriff's office. The officers are checking the pool 3 times, during the day at different times. I also wanted to see if council would, I would like someone to make a motion if we could advertise for that part-time officer, because we are gonna be needing a part-time officer. And, I'm sure there's probably a similar ad hanging around somewhere. If not, you can talk to Chief, because he would have something that you could use if council passes the motion to advertise. So, would anyone like to make a motion?
I'll make the motion for hiring of part-time officer.
Motion by Tony, second. Second by Dan. All those in favor?
Did,
Opposed?
the youngin go somewhere else yet?
I don't think so.
Okay.
There could be a potential.
Okay.
So, we're trying to be proactive. Also, I spoke about that stop sign, stop here.
Yours, right?
On red.
Oh, really?
Okay, let me get back to my
Go ahead.
minutes
I'm
here.
sorry.
Okay, I spoke about the stop sign on the bridge, and yes, I did see that it was there. It's kind of really hard to see.
That somebody did move that. That used
Yeah,
to be
it's not,
back.
it
That
should
was
be back
never at the
further.
end. I
It-
can't believe I.
Yeah, it's like way up, like you
It's
wouldn't
right
even
at
see
the-
it. You
it's right
drive
at the
right
end of the
past it, you're
bridge.
down on the ramp, and then here comes a
That's
big
where
truck,
mine is.
and you
No,
got
it
nowhere
used
to
to
go.
be. It used to be back.
So
the
it was
trucks
back,
would be
it
out there.
absolutely was
Yeah.
back, so that you
Moved
could see it
down.
before you got to the
It was back
stop.
on the deck, yeah, right at the end of the deck
So
there.
a couple suggestions I have for
I
the
looked,
safety.
I looked when I went across the bridge, I said, it's clean at the end of the bridge.
Yeah, well, here's the problem, the emergency vehicles have to make that bend, they cannot, and people are pulling way down, and what was hilarious, the other day I saw a PennDOT truck, and he was way down on the ramp, he didn't even stop at the sign. You cannot see it, it's there,
It's
but
way back in.
it's
Get
way
the
too far
LED
front.
one that
So
lights
it
up.
needs to
That
come back a little bit where it was,
We'll do it.
and I wanted to put some
I don't even know
flashing.
how it's attached.
It's on one of them signposts.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know how the signpost is attached.
Oh, I don't know, yeah.
It's welded to the
It probably
bridge.
run.
Yeah.
Somebody
There's
just
a
run.
piece of
That's it.
signpost.
I think-
Because at one time,
It got
that,
knocked
somebody hit that and knocked it
Yeah,
back.
it got
We
knocked.
put it back up, and then I guess it was PennDOT came and replaced it.
Yeah, and so, you know how they have that stop where you're supposed to stop here,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
once you get down the ramp, you're too far down, and then if you're trying to run the light, then you either gotta go or
I
you
could take a
stop.
look at it and see if we can't move it, but
Yeah.
like I
But
said,
I
don't
thought,
know. No, I don't mind, I don't know,
but I even thought if we
Yeah, I don't know
had
what it'd take.
some of those warning lights that they did at that stop sign, when they put that stop sign in down by the senior center, so they would just attract your attention, and then maybe people would stop. But also, even the red light stop is faded, you can't even hardly see it on the bridge anymore, so I don't know whose responsibility that is. But, you know, if it's PennDOT's, I'll call and ask them if they can do something about it.
Stop.
I'll tell you what's happening a lot. The people are getting caught in traffic where they pull down and they think they have enough time to turn,
Mhm.
and then other people are coming and they can't turn.
So
so
that's
they stop.
another thing that happens, this light turns red, this one stays green.
Right,
Yes.
and people jump out of the line
Well,
on
they
the
think they
bridge,
can go
on
and-
the opposite lane,
They run out of time.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
100%, right.
it is bad. Okay, so what's our plan? Are we allowed to move it, or should I call PennDOT and ask them?
Well, we
if they would-
maintain that, right? Aren't we paid to maintain it? Like we do
You
the,
get liquid
Hey,
fuels for
yeah.
the roads.
Yeah,
we pay, or we, salt it.
okay. So would
But you're moving.
council agree to, like, maybe we could move the sign and then just make people reaware that this sign, that you have to stop at, that we could maybe just put those flashing lights on for a while, just to grab attention? To see if we can prevent people from going down
Can you
that
see if
road?
you can move it, Lou?
Yes, I
Yeah, he's
could,
gonna-
yes.
Okay,
I don't know if you can
I don't need,
leave
I don't
it,
need
but-
that in a form of a motion or anything, do I?
No, I'm having a little bit of heartburn.
Yeah, it's all PennDOTs.
It's
PennDOT,
and it's
and then
traffic.
it's traffic, and you're moving the stop sign.
Yeah.
Well, I can call the traffic.
I would rather call the traffic people first.
Okay.
Just to make sure, because if we're gonna move something, if you're moving stop signs, especially in an area like that, we're gonna be putting a liability on us.
Yeah, it's not a stop sign, it just says stop here on red. You know, it's telling you,
It's
you
a-
gotta
it's a
stop
traffic
back.
control.
Yeah, it's still a
Still
traffic
traffic.
control
Okay,
device.
well-
State road, I would not
If
suggest.
council doesn't care, I'll call the traffic guy, cause I
That's
know
fine.
who he is.
And they may say, have your traffic, or yeah, sure, go ahead and move it, that's fine, just let us know. So let's just
I'll tell him
be
to
sure.
send it in writing, Sam, so.
You got it.
Yeah.
How far back you wanna go?
Alright,
Middle of the bridge.
and, like I said, Jason's doing a good job here, he's trying to get some information, and so am I, we're trying to make a folder of grants, different grants we wanna look into when the new grant stuff opens. And some of them require you to attend a webinar or a special training or whatever. They have been doing a lot of webinars that you don't have to go in person anymore. And then we do have our DUNS number all figured, all straightened out for you, actually, the DUNS number and stuff.
Yeah, we never had an issue with the DUNS number.
Okay, well, it was the other number.
Yeah.
The SAM's number, okay. So I just had to make sure we had all that in place. So anyway, I just gave Jason a draft of that grant that I talked about at the work session. And then I'm gonna also draft a letter from the mayor, for the support for the grant for the swimming pool, and I'll send it to the appropriate people in addition to council's letter. And, I don't know if the borough would wanna place an ad in the mayor's association brochure because their conference is coming up, but I just thought I'd ask. It would probably only be about $25 for a business card size ad, if that's your pleasure. And that's all I have.
They have those up at the Westmoreland County one, whatever, program.
They do them for the boroughs association.
Yeah, yeah.
Mary, also, there's been some issues down at the pond. Some young kids down there,
I know they've been hurting the fish, yes.
killing fish, unattended.
Yeah.
Yeah, throwing garbage in the pond. So, and I know our police go down there,
Oh, I know, I go down there and plow,
they go down there, I don't know what to do, I mean, them kids could rock in the woods.
I know.
If they see a police car, and a police car leaves, then they come back, but, I don't know if we could do some kind of watch down there, volunteer watch or something, I don't know, but it's just a few kids are spoiling everything for other youth in this town.
What about, I mean, would there be, I don't know if there would be any program, maybe to the Fish and Game Commission, sometimes they have those cams like they use for deer and stuff.
Trail
Trail cams, that's what they're called. So maybe you could kind of get a picture of who these actors are and then go after them.
Those would be motion activated, though, like like they would have to be doing in motion, but they'd have to be close to it.
Yeah.
Those cameras we bought were not bad, though. I mean, they're outdoor cameras, security cameras.
I don't know, it's.
You guys
all-
can
Didn't we
download
use some
and
of
run
those
it.
on Vine Street, Mary, when we had the
When we
dumping
had the
problem?
dumping problem, but there was a grant and that was for garbage and the illegal dumping.
Yeah,
But there might be something to the Boat and Game Commission, because I'm sure we're not the only place where this happens, where people are harming. Because they were going after the ducks too, they were
Yeah,
hurting the
yeah.
ducks, and that's just craziness,
Either that or DCNR, maybe.
yeah.
I'm assuming
Maybe
their
reach
parents
out
are
to Dan
around.
Wilson and see if he can't sit down there for a while.
Good evening. No, I don't know.
He's our conservation
The
officer.
parents aren't, the kids are just running wild. I know, we have a constant problem at the Lions Club too, it's so sad because you try to have open space for people to enjoy, and there's only, takes a couple people, and you just wanna fence the whole thing with a moat with big alligators, cause that's where I am right now. So I'll look into that too, and see if
Yeah,
there's
like I
any.
said, it was brought to my attention more than once, and
And I wanna ask the police if they could, after they're done at the pool, go down to the pond.
They're done.
You know, some of these kids aren't even from West Newton that are down there.
Pardon me?
Those kids aren't even from West Newton.
Probably not.
Sorry? They're not, they're running from out of town. Their parents drop them off there, it's like a daycare.
One of the things too, though, is like they said at that meeting that we had with Terry with the police, if they're doing something, these people gotta call the police. If they're breaking the
Because
rules,
we don't get the.
they need to call the police,
There's
otherwise
always
it's
constantly
hearsay.
people down there, I can't believe they don't
Well,
call
that's-
911 if they're seeing something going on.
That's what I.
Uh-huh.
There's constantly somebody down there fishing.
Suspicious,
There's like
isn't
6
it?
old guys down there all the
I don't
time.
get it.
So if this is really going on, why isn't somebody calling
That's
the
right.
police?
Now we're on to it. Is it really
So,
going on?
It could be hearsay, it's like every time you turn around, they're complaining.
There's always
about
somebody
Well,
down
the
there.
trouble is, people get their news off social media, and
Right.
so they're saying, why isn't the police doing anything? It's
Right.
because they have not been called, and I told the
Exactly.
pool, you call 911, so it's recorded on the 911 line, then the police have to come.
We
You're
get
trying to
some,
call down here on the line when they're out somewhere else, nobody's getting the message,
I've
and
never,
then the actor.
I'm down there a lot, and I've never seen anything. Now, of course, I missed the time they put the bench in the pond.
Yeah, someone told me they were torturing the catfish.
What do you torture?
When they got the
Pull it out and
fish,
kill
they
it.
didn't put it back, I mean, they were like stabbing it and.
Yeah, the pictures, I have pictures of it somewhere somebody posted them on Facebook,
Yeah.
of those kids down there
Well, there's
stabbing
somebody,
that
there has to
park.
be a name
It was
attached to
park.
that Facebook page, right?
That's right.
Tony came from you.
I'm sorry?
You didn't want to call us about anything down here, so.
I called one time because the kid kicked
Got a
the,
big bang.
No, that was
I
me.
told Michael
Oh,
about
is
it.
that you?
Yes, and I circled back around, now that was right before that tournament, and I knew there was, that concession stand was all stocked up with stuff. So, I heard a big bang, and I see kids over there, so I didn't know who was on duty, so I called Gary, he called you.
Yeah, right.
I circled around, by the time I come back around and you go out there, they were sitting on the picnic table like a couple angels just sitting there. Yeah. But meanwhile, they're in between them two buildings, they were doing something, they were making all kind of noise. And I was worried about them trying to break into that
They
concession
knocked
stand.
something, no, I can't remember what it was, they knocked something over.
Yeah,
Oh, I think you know what it was. That big, home plate, that pitcher's mound.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
Because we had it stood up against the wall, and then when I went down there one day, it was laying flat.
That's what it was,
I said, I wonder why that's laying down. I bet that's what it was.
You guys got power at both of those, the concession stands. Couldn't
Yeah.
even apply for grants for,
Yeah, we need to
regular
get
night
cameras
vision
down.
cameras.
Yeah.
That way you got it, you know who's doing it.
Well, even when you try to put lights up, like they'll take
That's right.
BB guns and shoot out the lights, we've had that happen. Shoot out the windows,
Jennings,
break
right.
open the bathroom doors, I mean, it's just constant.
And the other stand.
We had people put rocks down the toilet.
Both stands.
Ruin the toilet.
All three of them. So we could put cameras in there.
Cause they weren't very costly when we bought them, were they?
What happened to the camera system again?
They're down in, it's down in the stand. I don't know how to set it up.
There's a guy, Taylor, Christmas light guy, he had offered to help put up cameras with us.
Okay.
So I can reach out to him.
Okay. Yeah, I have what, Steve gave me. It's down in the stand, but. Does that need like a tape?
It's internal, it's DVR.
Digital
It's a
recorder.
digital recorder.
Okay. I mean, does it, so it has a card that you plug into
You
somewhere?
can't put a card in it, and download
Okay.
it right to the card.
Okay.
And it's a full
Has its own
professional
memory
system. I mean,
Okay.
It's not, it wasn't cheap when we bought it.
Right, right.
We just upgraded to 4K, now 8K.
I'll send you his number.
Okay. Yeah, maybe he can help me out. Yeah, I do have, I don't know how many cameras you need. It's down, it's down in the stand. Okay.
And that park's supposed to be closed at dark. Doesn't mean that those kids aren't in there.
Well, they can get in there and bike it.
Hey, Mayor, now, we don't close with dark.
No,
We quit that years ago, what was happening, we closed with dark, kids would come out of the woods, that's when the damage was actually happening.
oh, okay,
So if we wanted to search the park in the middle of the night, by the time we get out of the car, open up the gate, they're gone, damage done there in the woods are gone.
alright.
So now periodically, we just swing back here real quick, catch some surprises or anything.
Okay,
We did that late nineties.
so that sign's gone, it says
Well,
closed.
respect, I mean, there's people down there that fish all night, 4 or 5 in the morning, they're there. There's always.
There's sometimes some night games down there too.
Okay,
Yeah, you close up gates, we have more problems.
yeah,
Cause I was a kid, I mean, we was all there, I mean.
yeah,
so
somebody wants in, they're getting in.
Oh, yeah, I mean, they just can't get in there with a car, that's all.
Right, but they'll get in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, most of these kids ain't driving anyway.
Mary, are there any regulations for fireworks within the borough?
Yeah, there is, it's like so many feet by a neighbor's house, it's kinda like the state
Yeah, I mean, the
fireworks.
state's 150 feet from any occupied structure.
Yeah, and
I've
that's what
not
we
many
kinda went
spaces
on.
here that could comply with that.
Yeah.
Probably a few properties, but not many.
But I know last year we had to put signs all up in the Lions Club, no fireworks, because it's private property, and they just leave all the litter.
I mean,
and they
even at
just-
residential houses,
Yes.
are you allowed to set off fireworks?
Well, you're not
At any
supposed
time of the day or
to,
night?
Goes by the state.
It goes by state laws, you get
Yeah.
150 feet, there's only a certain class you can use, which obviously now includes the big one.
'Cause that seems to be
I
going on a
post-
lot.
yeah, I posted that on
It started
Facebook
way before Memorial
last
Day.
year,
like
right,
it's-
I posted it last year on what the state laws were, so people would know, but yeah, if it's up, and I mean, call 911, I mean, I don't,
It's just one of those ones that's extremely hard to enforce.
Yeah.
Time you get there, they're gone, all the stuff's gone.
Mm.
like the diamond, like the M80s and,
Does our ordinance refer to the state law, is that, or we
I
have
don't
something?
think we have our own fireworks ordinance per se, but, So, you know, I mean, I posted like the state fireworks law because that's all I have to post. But it's terrible because you live so close to people and when someone's having a whole fireworks show. And then you're right, they start before Memorial Day and it'll keep going out because 4th of July.
Okay, do I have a motion to accept the mayor's report? Motion by Dan, second.
I'll second.
Second by Jason, all those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. Did y'all have a chance to look at the list of unpaid bills for the borough? Could I have a motion to have Ashley pay the bills?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Gary, second. Second by Terry, all those in favor? All those opposed? Motion passed. Treasurer's report.
Okay, the general fund checking account is at $236,293.19. Ladder account, $352,757.72. ARPA fund, $79,797.86. Gym funds, $12,238.47. Gives you a general fund total of $681,087.24. Liquid fuels interest bearing account, $60,492.79. Checking account, $6,024.57. Total liquid fuels, $66,517.36. Sewer fund checkings, $208,645.58. Ladder account, $540,065.03. Gives you your total sewer fund for $748,710.61.
Do I have a motion to accept the treasurer's report?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Gary, second. Second by Dan. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Tax collector's report.
Okay, I have, year-to-date is $256,732.74.
Okay. Motion to accept tax collector's report.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Gary, second.
I'll second.
By Jason, all those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, committee reports. Finance and budget. Go to Jason.
Sure, so for, I'd like to bring up the Wings for Westmoreland, we talked about it at the work session. Again, it's a program through the Westmoreland Cultural Trust.